There's a lot of great things happening at Tennessee Athletics.
I believe this city is going to be upside down tonight.
Season-long party continues at Rocky Top.
Welcome back to another episode of the Everything Orange podcast. And you guys, I'm not sure if you're ready for this one, so buckle in. He played quarterback for the Power T from 1986 to 1990, helping lead the Vols to 4 bowl game victories and back-to-back SEC championships. Although his playing days on the gridiron have come to an end, you can still find him on Saturdays in Neyland DJing for a 100,000-plus orange and white crowd, or inside the Food City Center with men's and women's basketball games, or over at Lindsey Nelson or Sherry Parker Lee, or truly anywhere on campus and around the Knoxville community. So please welcome the life of the party, Sterl the Pearl.
Stay ready, you gotta get ready, Sarah. Let's go, baby. Let it ride.
All right, Sterl the Pearl, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast this week.
It's an honor, Sarah. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited. I know I'm going to have so much fun and walk away. My cheeks are going to hurt from smiling so much.
I hope so. That's my goal. I want you to have cheek cramps.
Yes.
Vroom, vroom, vroom. Jeez.
Exactly. So, Sterl, take me back to where your story with the University of Tennessee began, because people might not know that you actually played football here.
Yeah, I used to be an athlete. Now, I tell you about it, I can still go through pregame.
Oh, I bet.
But, yeah, I played ball here 87 to 90. Those are the seasons. I redshirted in 86 as a true freshman. And, I'm just thankful the University of Tennessee gave me the opportunity to play quarterback when that wasn't a popular decision back then for people that played my style of ball coming out of high school.
Okay.
And they gave me the opportunity to play quarterback, and I did, and I had fun doing it, man. We won 4 bowl games, 2 SEC championships, made some incredible friends down here, and I tell you, we had a good time playing for the Power T.
And I have to ask, what game do you remember the most in Neyland? What's that one that you think back to the good old days?
The one in Neyland that I remember the most was my first start as a freshman.
Okay.
I got a chance to start against Louisville, and boy, I was nervous, man. I was nervous. I'm starting, and unfortunately, we played well, and I got a good grade, so I guess I did okay because Coach Harris, Coach Gruden, and Coach Major were pretty tight on me and pretty tough on me. And then my game I remember the most as a Vol was the day I turned 21. I turned 21 in the Rose Bowl, and we went out to UCLA and beat UCLA in 1989, and we were like a 20-point underdog and winning the game by 20. So
wow.
That was an awesome moment.
Yeah, a pretty good 21st birthday present, if you ask me.
Man, I turned legal on the West Coast, baby.
Exactly. An extended birthday celebration for you.
Oh, and it was funny because, Roland Poles was a teammate starting fullback, was also his birthday. And
fun.
Our academic advisor, then Richard Westbrook, was his birthday also. So
Just a party on the West Coast.
Hey, man, 9-9 was a moment in time, baby.
And then your playing days didn't stop when you left the University of Tennessee either. You played a little bit of professional ball too.
I played a little bit of professional ball. I got signed to Canada, and then I played in arena ball, and and that was it. I got hurt, and then I had get to the real world, and I was blessed to be able to come back and get my degree, and then years later got my master's. So I got some expensive, posters on the wall. Let's say I can read a book at least.
Exactly. And so then your time in football ended, after a couple years of playing, but then you had so many different avenues that you could go down with entertainment, with music, with acting, with radio. I mean, you dabbled in just about everything.
It's called survival, man. You got to survive.
Yeah.
And, I'm just thankful and blessed that I was able to, pursue radio, and it started right here at UT, also WUTK. Down there, and Benny is back. He's the guy that gave me my shot,
Gotcha.
while I was a student here, and had Club 90 for 10 years, which at that time was the only hip-hop outlet in the entire city.
Wow.
So my friend Eddie Messer, the Captain E. Ray, we did that thing, and Groovy Dale, and we did that thing, and blessed to be able to do it. And then I had some other radio opportunities in the city with Sports Talk, and also mix shows and DJing, and had opportunity to get into the entertainment business with doing some things with BET and also with Warner Brothers, and so I'm thankful. I made a lot of friends, done a few things, and man, had a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I think when I looked and read more about your story, at the core of pretty much everything that you did was sports. You
Yes.
always kept that in your journey in your life, wherever you decided to go and whatever you decided to pursue next.
Well, because sports teaches you a lot, especially the game of football. Football is the most, how can I say, is the ideal team sport. I mean, you can do everything right according to your job. But if no one else is doing what you're going to do, what they're supposed to do, chances are you're not going to win. And at the end of the day, it's all about winning. And when you're doing your job and your guys got your back on that football field and they do theirs, man, that's what makes the game so beautiful. And so I learned a lot from that game because, I got knocked down a whole lot of times. And those are things that, we don't have time for all that. But I'm just blessed I was taught to get back up. And again, that's my mother shining through me.
And then your entrepreneurial aspirations started at a very young age. I heard you DJ'd back in the day when you were in elementary school.
Yeah. I mean, I used to put the two record players together. How'd you find all this out? Whoa, yeah, I put all the two record players together back in the day in fourth grade, and I was basically, turned out from DJing back when my cousin was a big DJ in North New Jersey, so he let me, get on his equipment, and I was 8 years old, and I played Special Lady by Ray Goodman and Brown for my great-grandmother at the time, and I loved it ever since.
So where did Sterl the Pearl originate from?
Ooh, the nickname or me?
A little bit of both, right?
I'm born and raised in Passaic, New Jersey, which is right outside New York, a suburb of New York City. That's where it all came from. I had aspirations of being a basketball player when I was young, and so I used to always try to be real fancy on the court back when Dr. J and all those guys were out there, Earl the Pearl Monroe and the Iceman, George Gervin. They had the sweetest finger rolls, so I used to always go to the park and try to do a finger roll, but I could never just let the ball fall off my hand. I'd be doing all type of stuff, and they said, "Look at Sterl the Pearl." They literally just stuck,
Wow.
and that was from it took over a nickname that I had prior to that was Jabberjaws.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But it stuck.
It
Sterl
stuck.
the Pearl.
Yeah, it stuck.
So tell me about how you became the DJ here of Tennessee Athletics and who kind of gave you a buzz, gave you a ring that day and said, hey, I think you'd be a great fit for this job.
It's amazing. Barry Rice, who was in charge of VFL Films when it first came about, he knew about me DJing when I was playing because, he was around when I was playing. And he tried a couple of times to no avail to have me DJing during games. Just wasn't time yet. And so when the opportunity came, this is what makes it so interesting because Barry's my guy. Well, it's a long story, but me and Barry, it's my guy, him and Link, we go back, Joe Video. And so when the opportunity came, Barry initially thought it would be a recruiting violation, as the next player. So when the opportunity came when Coach Jones wanted a DJ for the spring game his first year, Barry hired someone else. And so Scott Altizer asked me to DJ an event up here in the complex that was going on the same day as the spring game. And, we had a lot of fun up in the complex. And I don't know what happened between the guy that Barry hired and when I got down to the stadium, Arian Foster was in the DJ booth DJing at the time. He was the leading rusher in the NFL. So I'm like, something happened. I have no idea what happened, but Scott Altizer then made a statement to Barry how, I just had Sterl DJing up there. It's not a recruiting violation. And so Barry erring the caution, and whatever happened between the guy he hired, that's how I came about the opportunity to DJ in Neyland Stadium. And it's just been, it's a blessing. Big time.
Your first game in Neyland, what do you remember most about DJing that game?
Don't mess up.
Whatever you do.
Don't mess up. It's a lot of tradition here in Neyland, and there's years of Tennessee fans in here. So, stay in the lane. Don't try to widen it too much. Stay narrow and stay clear. And I was also thankful that at that time they know. Now I realize how the important role that Jimmy Delaney plays, who is now my current boss.
Absolutely.
He had everything scripted out. So, stay in my lane and don't mess up. So that's what I wanted to do. And I would err to caution depending on what song I would play, just to make sure I was, you know.
Yes, you got to get their trust first.
Hey,
right?
yeah,
Before you can
I was working. I
Yeah.
wasn't trying to, spread the wings too far. I was just
Exactly.
trying to be grateful. And that's what I remember, being grateful. I got this opportunity to actually play music in Neyland, man. That's a big deal.
Right. What game was it and what year was it? Do you remember?
I know it was 2013.
Okay. Oh my gosh, happy 10-year anniversary.
Yeah, man, yeah. It was 2013. I can't remember the first game. I really can't remember who
Okay.
we played, but
You just blacked out. You were just living in the moment.
I was so focused. I mean, I remember, and I remember having to carry my equipment that I hook up to the system all the way from beyond the World's Fair site. So, and I didn't realize how heavy it was till after I had to go back, because I was just so focused, like, oh man, I gotta make this happen, you know. And then after that, they found a way to give me a ride. But you know,
Yeah.
it was a moment in time, man. That was a moment, brother.
Yeah.
Sister, I'm saying brother. Sister. Woo.
But not many people can say that they've DJ'd for 100,000 plus people at one time. How special is that for you to be able to come back in Neyland and give back in that way?
Yeah, I welcome the responsibility. I mean, I love this place, you know, and I try to show my love every time I get out there and have an opportunity to enhance the fan experience. That's what I really want to do.
Right.
I want our fans to realize the power that they have to impose on other teams coming into Neyland. And this is definitely an advantage for people wearing orange. But I don't get my order of operation messed up either. I know priority is Pride of the Southland. Second is the cheer team and the dance team. And then Stir the Pearl comes in. And I don't fight that order. And I think that's what a lot of people, when they initially thought of the opportunity, that I might be combative. But that was never a thought in my mind. I'm just wanting to make sure I was able to help the fan experience.
Absolutely. When I thought more about your job, you kind of remind me of the Wizard of Oz, like the man behind the curtain. You're the one, pulling all these strings and bringing the fans to life in some of these really big moments and giving the energy to the field for the players.
Well, once again, I'm just thankful they trust me.
Right.
I mean, this system's in place that's been around way before Stir the Pearl had the opportunity to even get down there. And that, I got, between Alicia and Jimmy and Jess, those guys, and VFL Films and Danny White, who's the top dog of it all, they trust me.
Right.
I'm not going to violate that trust. And I'm going to make sure I give them all that I got every single time. And that means a lot to me.
To your point, I don't know how you do it for hours straight. Like 110%, always. You never drop off. You are energy 24/7. You are getting everybody hype around you. What inside you just brings out this energy that you can keep it and sustain it for before, during, and after a
Well,
game?
I got to tell you, I say it again, it's just my mother coming through me. I mean, shoot. Woo! If it was the angel on this earth, it's her. And so sometimes, growing up, she had to be positive when things wouldn't look too positive. And so, when I get an opportunity to be around people that have their energy for a common cause, which and the cause that we have in common of the Power T, and I get a chance to actually encourage our student athletes to excel in any sport that they're playing, and also excel in the classroom and represent. I mean, that if you don't get juiced up behind that, I'm checking your pulse, baby. It's serious out here. Yeah.
And you mentioned it too, how you work with and alongside the Pride of the Southland band, the cheerleaders, our mascots. You're
Yes.
basically a bonus mascot to this fan base too. And how fun is it to be a part of what makes, Tennessee so special?
Oh, man, it's a feeling that, I wish every fan could feel. I look at it as just a whole bunch of thankfulness, because, I'm glad I can handle what they're giving me, but I'm not scared of what they are giving me. And some people ask me, Sterl, don't you get nervous? No, I don't get nervous. And anybody hear me say, no time like showtime. Hey, man, it's showtime. Let's go.
Yeah.
I want our student athletes to win every single time they get the opportunity to perform in front of our fan base. Our fan base is the greatest fan base on the planet. And, our student athletes work hard. They work hard.
Yeah.
And, you know, when our fans and our student athletes know that work comes together at a moment, whether it be a game or whether it be a volleyball match or a football, basketball game, a baseball game, a softball game, you know, whatever. I mean, look here, that's an advantage, man. And, you know, and if we got an advantage against teams, we're hard to beat.
You had a pretty fun and very memorable game this season, Austin Peay, when it was your birthday and you had the entirety of Neyland Stadium singing you happy birthday. Where does that rank in the you know, order of the games that you've been able to
you know,
be a part of?
I'm just amazed that I know how much conversation and communication happens amongst the people that were in charge of that thing. How I didn't know, because I was totally surprised. And, man, it got me. That's one of my best moments in my life.
Yeah.
Ever. Shoot. They put me in a category that's very minimal. I got to say across the world, having that many people sing to you at the same time. And I really didn't know about it. So, once again, I just hope I'm giving the energy to the Vol Nation that they give me every time I get the opportunity to do something for them.
You've been here, we talked about, for 10 years now, and you've seen the growth and the success of all of Tennessee athletics. How special has that been to be a part of this upward trajectory with all of our student athletes?
Well, first of all, it takes some special student athletes to come to the University of Tennessee to have this trajectory happening. But, you know, I know they're not satisfied, and I got to give them more to get them to their satisfactory level. Every student athlete at the University of Tennessee deserves to win a championship, and that's what they're shooting for. That's what the coaches are shooting for. That's what the fan base, you know, is striving to help the athletes get. So I'm doing all I can, and I got to do more, and I got to get better, and I'm trying.
Obviously, this community knows you and sees you in all of the games here on campus, but you're very spread out, too, across the community, doing birthdays, doing weddings, doing company events. How fun is it to be a part of not just, you know, the culture inside of Tennessee athletics on campus, but also across Knoxville community?
Well, it's a blessing because, you know, when you're able to put smiles on people's faces, that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, put a smile on somebody's face. And I'm thankful to be as old as I am and have been around enough songs and to where, you know, I don't leave home without 500,000 songs. So I could find a song that'll put a smile on somebody's face, whether it's at an event with 10 people or an event with 100,000 in Neyland. And then blessed to have done the Battle of Bristol, it was 160,000, you know, so that is. And that's what it's all about, you know. And if with technology now, if I don't have the song, I can get it in 3 seconds, knock it out, and give it to the people, and put a smile on somebody's face. And that's what I work hard for. I know everyone at Neyland, you know, I've got people I've got to win over, and I'm working hard to make sure I do. With Neyland, whether it's at Food City Arena now, or, you know, whether it's at baseball games, you know, I'm working hard to put a smile on everybody's face at the same time.
What would you say is something that fans don't know about or don't know that it's a part of your job that if they did, they, you know, you really wouldn't understand, you know, how much work goes into what you have to do to be the best at what you do?
Well, it's amazing. I always have someone with me. Horton is with me now, and he's part of the fan experience. So he's my guy in Neyland.
Okay.
And, you know, so those headphones with all these people that are calling the moves, and Jimmy Delaney, who's running the whole deal with a million things on his mind to make sure things happen in a timely fashion. And when things happen, he's like, I still need you to do this. Oh, I'm sorry. Not break a mic. But, you know, a lot of things are so spontaneous that you got to be ready.
Yeah.
You got to be ready. And it's like, that's why I'm blessed again about being able to have played the game of football on the level I've played. You know, you call a play, what you expect to happen 9 times out of 10 does not happen. So you got to make that play successful within the rules.
Yeah.
A different way. And that's what happens a lot of times during the games. People think those girls out there playing music, having fun, but it's a lot of structure and a lot of commands that happen to where if, you know, you got to build trust. And it's a big team behind me that, let me just say that my team, the fan experience team, everybody that's here probably 15 hours a day, including people in VFL Films, you know, they make Stir the Pearl happen. And I'm thankful for them.
And Knoxville, the state of Tennessee, Neyland Stadium, these are all very important things for you. Yeah. What does it mean to you to still be a part of this community in such a big way?
Oh, man. Well, first of all, I don't think of myself in a big way. I think of myself in a small way. And I'm trying to get bigger, and I'm trying to make sure I can supply anything that somebody asks of me. And if I can't, I can find a way to get it. So that's when a lot of relationships come in place, because, you know, I can't do everything, but if I can find a person that can do the thing that I can't do,
right.
Well, if I have a relationship with that person, you know, 9 times out of 10, there's no pushback on asking. And that's what I'm blessed to say, that I have a lot of friends, more than one. My mother always said, if you have more than one friend, if you have one friend before you die, you know, you lived a successful life. Well, I can say I have more than one. I share that with her a lot. But that's where I come in right there, Sarah. I just want people to be able to, you know, I want to provide a service to provide a smile. So when they leave me, say, he made my day better, or at least tried.
How have you seen your job too, just from the very beginning to where you are now? How have you seen yourself grow in it? And what brings you so much enjoyment day in and day out that you're still doing it 10 years later?
First of all, I'm thankful that once again, Jimmy Delaney and the fan experience team trust me enough to do the whole game. When I first started, I was just doing pregame.
Okay.
So now I'm involved in the entire game experience. I'm thankful for that. You know, I'm when it's showtime, when it's time to ignite people, that's one thing I can do. You know, now the ones that I don't ignite, I'm trying to get them ignited also. So I'm trying to keep the ones I got and find the other ones and find new things to get people involved. Because I know when Neyland's rocking, when Fool City Center's rocking, when the baseball field is rocking, look here, baby. It's hard to beat Tennessee, man. It's just hard. It's hard. I mean, our fan base got some power, big time.
And you're just bringing out the best in it.
Is
that fair to say?
I'm trying to bring out the best, trying to bring out the loudest, the most fierce, the most intense, the most excited. I'm trying to let them know, hey, man, you use the power that you have. Don't come to watch the game. Come to be a part of the game.
Oh, I love that. That was perfect. I have to ask too. I've been seeing these Club Sterl shirts around. Where did that come to be? And I need a T-shirt.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you one. What's amazing is, like I said, another blessing that came to me from. It wasn't my idea.
Okay.
It was, you know, it's Sarah and Kelly's idea, who are in charge of the dancers.
Oh wow.
So as part of it's a dance team thing.
Okay.
And so they made this thing where they do this incredible dance routine during the third quarter every game. They just started calling it Club Sterl.
Oh.
And so they decided to make a T-shirt, and then they made the T-shirt.
Yeah.
And you know, people wearing it because, you know, hey, they look better in it than I do. That's for sure. You know, so, you know, it's the dance team thing. So I encourage everybody to go get a Club Sterl shirt, because it helps benefit our dance team.
Oh.
And, you know, help them, because they're multiple national championships. Our Spirit Squad.
They're so talented.
They're awesome, phenomenal. And you know, the more money raised for them to do more things, it's more recognition for the Power T, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, sign me up. I'd love a shirt. I'd love to donate. That's so special.
And that's so I want to encourage everybody to please
Yes.
go get a Club Sterl shirt, because it doesn't help me. It helps the dance team. I'm just thankful they called the shirt Club Sterl in that moment at the game,
Yeah.
Club Sterl.
I remember after the I don't know what football game it was, but we had students come into the office wearing it, and I was like, "Where'd you get that? I need one, please, and thanks."
In a real way. But we're going to get you one. We're going to drape you up lovely. They might think you want to dance.
Exactly. Hey, I danced back in my day.
Say less.
I
Get it
know.
cracking, baby.
I
Let's
know.
go.
I love it.
Oh, come on. Make it happen, baby, for sure. We got to get Sarah out there like we had the police thing.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh, that-
Yeah. That'd be great.
We need to get you
Yes.
working on that.
I'm like, doing my reporting, and they bump into me, and I just start breaking out a dance number.
In a real way. Come on, drop the pen, drop the pad, and go bam, 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 5, 6, 7, 8.
Exactly.
Make it happen,
Say
baby.
less. I'm doing it. So one last section I have for you.
Go.
Is I just wanted to do some favorite moments from the job. So I just had these rapid fire questions for
Go.
you. The first, favorite game in Neyland or Food City Center that you have DJ'd for?
My favorite game in Neyland was my, they all been great. Let me
Yes.
quantify this answer. But was the first year South Carolina game.
Okay.
When they came here ranked in the top 10 and we beat them. And it was amazing. I mean, Travis, who's also in the production of this podcast, he might have been one of the guys that were on the camera at that time. I'm just on the sidelines acting up and trying to do whatever I can to get the one section, amped up. So I had a towel in my hand.
Okay.
So I'm waving the towel and everything, and I didn't know I was on camera. Had no idea. And so, I thought we scored a touchdown, so I turned around, and I'm realizing what's going on. The crowd just got real loud. I don't know what happened. And then it was Heather, who was now in operations for Lady Vols basketball. Her husband was there with me. He said, Stir, you was on camera. I was on camera. Next you know, you got a touchdown thrown. We get the ball. We stopped at that time. Jadeveon Clowney was the first-round draft choice. We got the ball back, scored again, and we won the game. And I think that was the moment to me when I realized the power that our fan base has.
Yeah.
And that's the juice, man. That's the juice.
Oh, that's awesome. That's such a good story.
That's the juice.
Favorite song to play to get the crowd hyped up?
Whoo, third down, what? Yeah, baby.
There's nothing like it.
Hey, it's amazing how that whole thing came about when that time Spags, who was in charge of operations with Butch, he came to me and said, Coach said, Stir, you got to come up with a third down song. I said, a third down song? What do you mean? Hey, man, look, do your job. I said, for real? And so now I see Coach Jones. Hey, Pearl, come here. Hey, man, look, we need you to come up with a third down song. I said, a third down song? Hey, man, I already told Barry what it's going to be. You're going to get turned down for what and figure out something, third down for what or something. Third down for what? What do you... Man, that's going to be corny, man. Hey, get in the studio and do it. Coach Jones would talk to you like that. And at the time, I talked to Coach Gillespie, who was the running backs coach at the time. He said, Stir, you got to do something, man. Look, man, we got to figure it out. So they called Barry Rice at the time, in charge of VFL Films, came downstairs. We laid it down. He said, Stir, that sounds good. I said, you think so? So he let me hear it. I said, yeah, it does sound good. I said, we're not going to get in trouble with turn down for what? I said, we shouldn't because, percentages of the lyric, we should be okay.
Okay.
And then it became what it is, man.
Right.
Oh.
You can't go into Neyland and not get hyped up when you hear third down for what?
Ooh.
There's nothing like it.
It for those 2 years, the first 2 years we brought that thing out, it went viral across the world. I mean, at one time, they were playing it on radio stations. They played it at high school games, little league games.
Oh,
they
wow.
played it in professional arenas, and then some of them just went right to turn down for what. But most of them got the track third down for what. How they got it, I don't know to this day. But I remember being at a high school game in West Tennessee, and I was there with a friend, and third down for what came on.
Whoa.
And so some people knew the story. They started, that's your voice. Yeah, and so third down for what, we birthed that.
Just favorite memory from a game that you worked?
The favorite memory from a game that I worked, other than what I just mentioned, is the moment we did the dance routine with Mike and the acting as a security officer, and we rehearsed that one time.
You're kidding.
Just one time. It was Kelly and Sarah's brainchild. They thought the thing up. They asked me what I do, and I said, absolutely, let's rock. Did the deal, and that thing
Blew up.
I don't know how many millions of views it's had, and Mike is living his best life. Yeah, that's me. And it was also awesome when we redid it in basketball season last year.
Yeah.
So that was a moment in Neyland I believe will live forever.
Honestly, I think I saw that video pop up on so many sports accounts for weeks
It's
afterwards.
over 100-something million, 200 million views.
It's incredible.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
So that moment, it was great to be a part of that moment.
Favorite Vol Nation fan interaction?
Favorite Vol Nation fan interaction. Now, this is going to be a moment, and I hope the young man, I don't want to say his name, but, those that know. Hope the young man sticks to his commitment to come to Tennessee. So I'll show it. I wish I could show it here, but I'll show it to you. It's a young man who came to a game in 2014. He was 8 years old, and he taking it back. He was 6 years old and took a picture with me. Okay, so he's a little guy. So this summer, he committed to Tennessee. So we're doing things for recruiting, and these older gentleman, older lady come up to me and Sterling Pearl, I want you to meet somebody. I want to show you something. You took a picture with him when he was this size. And, of course, it was a young boy. I dwarfed him. Now, he's not a young boy no more. He's a full-fledged Division I football recruit. And let me tell you, he dwarfs me. And so that moment, and that's why I tell you, you never know who lives you're touching when you touch people. And I'm not ever, I'm definitely not now, but I'm not ever going to be too big not to take a picture and have a moment with somebody if asked.
Right. Because something like that, it sticks with them forever.
Oh, man. And then I see the picture with the time, and
Yeah.
those are important 8-9 years for him because he's grown into who he is right now, and these next 9 going to be more phenomenal. But shoot, man, that's a moment I cherish, really do.
My last question is the favorite part about your job.
I get to put smiles on people's faces. I get to make people laugh. I get people invigorated for a good thing, which is a Tennessee win, baby. Lady Vols and Vols, baby. Let's make it hard for any team that comes in here not wearing orange. Or orange and sky blue for the Lady Vols. Just make sure, I don't care what sport it is. I mean, our volleyball team is doing big things now. Both basketball teams, football, I mean, baseball, the coaches, and softball.
Softball, yeah.
I mean, and our fans have that power. We're always going to be a school that's going to have a lot of games home, no matter what sport. And if we win, if we get undefeated at home, and, and I tell everybody, winning is more contagious than the flu. Hey, our student athletes get that thing, that swag. Look, we're going to find a way to win. We're going to win ugly versus lose pretty. See what I'm saying? Let's make it happen.
Oh, yeah.
And then we go undefeated at home. Big things can happen for our student athletes on every level, from, this NIL space happening now to, winning championships. And that's what it's all about. Our coaches and our student athletes want to win championships and also graduate with big deals. And our fan base, and that's what I enjoy about my job, I'm able to get that energy going.
Would you have ever imagined that you would be sitting here with me today just talking about this, talking about your job, how great it is, and all the cool experiences that have come from it?
No. No. I'm first of all, I would never think this opportunity would have ever presented itself. And I'm just hoping I'm doing a good job in it to where that day comes, whether it's 30 years from now or 10 years from now, and I got to leave this position that, is cemented enough into the fan experience where somebody else can come and say, hey, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, my last question for you, Sterl, before I let you go.
Okay.
When you sing Rocky Top, do you woo?
Woo! Rocky Top, absolutely, man. Got the woo! How can you woo, woo, woo? Not only do I woo, 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 you got the woo! Absolutely, man. That's the juice right there. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Come on, stop playing. Now I sing it off key, but I get the woo. I got that woo, woo. Rocky Top, come on, absolutely.
That was probably the easiest question for you this whole time. Of course you woo.
Well, it's all easy. And I'm just thankful you chose me to have an opportunity to interview.
This was so much
Appreciate
fun.
you.
Yes.
Oh, man.
I'm so glad that you were open to this because everybody knows Sterl the Pearl in this fan base, but I'm so glad that they got to learn a little bit more about you and you got to share some really, special moments.
Well, I hope I didn't scare anybody, because I got a good face for radio, but it's going to be on video a little bit, and I'm just thankful.
Thank you so much, Sterl. I appreciate it.
High five. Yeah! Go Vols, baby!
Guys, I just had the best time talking to Sterl. I hope you guys enjoyed it just as much as I did. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Everything Orange. As always, be sure to follow us on all of our Vol Sports platforms so you don't miss out on a single update. But before we go, here's a look at everything going on with Tennessee athletics this upcoming week, starting with tonight. Women's basketball has their first test of the regular season against number 18 Florida State in Tallahassee. Tip-off is at 6 p.m. on ESPN2. On Friday, lots going on. First of all, soccer received a bid into the NCAA tournament and will be taking on Xavier in Cincinnati at 4 p.m. Huge match for our Lady Vols, so make sure to support them from afar or even in person if you're making the road trip. Also on Friday, cross country heads to Gainesville for the NCAA South Regional Championships. Then at home, the Lady Vol volleyball team takes on Georgia at 6:30 in the Food City Center. And after their match, you can catch the men's basketball team taking on the Wisconsin Badgers at 9 p.m. on Peacock. On Saturday, the number 14 Volunteers travel to Missouri for a big-time SEC matchup against the number 16 Tigers. Kickoff is at 3:30 on CBS. Then on Sunday, back on campus, we've got another Lady Vol volleyball match against Ole Miss at 2 p.m. in the Food City Center. Then, to start off your week right, you can catch plenty of basketball happening on campus. First, on Monday, the women's basketball team is back in action as they take on Memphis at 6:30. Then on Tuesday, the men's basketball team takes on Wofford at 6:30, both in the Food City Center. Lastly, on Wednesday, Swim and Dive kicks off their 3-day Tennessee Invitational in the Allen Jones Intercollegiate Aquatic Center. Trials start at 10 a.m., followed by finals at 6 p.m. each day of competition. Well, that's a wrap on Rocky Top. Make sure to tune in next Thursday for another episode of Everything Orange. Bye, y'all.